How's it going, Lynn? Micah?
Good. Hello.
Hello.
Wait for some more people to join. I think Brennan is coming, Ian is coming, Peter is coming. No, Hugh is going to be late. Well, Hugh on the meeting later, actually, because he can make this. But yeah, we should have pretty much everyone here. Be back in 20 seconds. All right. I guess there's no. Oh, there's Peter. What's up, Peter?
How you doing?
Good. What about you?
All right.
Go on, Brendan. All right, I think we can kick it off. Ian might be a little late because he is currently in the interview. So, yeah, thanks for. Oh, I guess we're still waiting for Ryan, but for the most part, he kind of had some disconnected stuff. So I'm just gonna keep going with it. So yeah, again, thanks for coming, everyone. We are through our first week, and it was a little bit kind of just messing around and getting used to a lot of the stuff that we're working with. But I think we kind of have a good grip on how everything works, at least at a high level, and we can start working on some more specific implementations of different requirements. So we kind of, I don't think Micah talked to you too much about what I'm thinking we do next, but I know Lynn and Brandon both, I think we're on the same page. But pretty much we'll be looking to, in the next week, start on the authentication process, which is going to be pretty fundamental to the rest of the entire app. How we run it currently is we make queries to the API, and the API does all of the smart contract interactions. That is very, very poorly designed. So what we want to do is we want to integrate with something called Tor. I don't know if it's Taurus, Tor.us. It basically lets us hook our Google API, the same experience that you have when you're logging into Google Docs or anything else with a MyAdmin Gateway, into a Web3 enabled account that can interact with smart contracts. So there's a lot that goes into that. I'm brushing with a lot of kind of the mechanics of how that's implemented on both the front end and the back end, but we'll definitely get into that as we move on. We can really quickly run through what everyone has done so far. So I guess I will go first. So far, we look at IO. Fixed up this to get it all set up with the correct events, which it looks okay when you render it like this. But if I were to go to, I think this should work. Yeah, so right now I'm working on this. For some reason, the CSS is highly delayed in rendering, which is not good, especially when we're sending professional people here. So that's something I've been working on a lot. Then the other thing I've been working on a ton is, actually I don't think I've pushed it, so And then currently, the incentive contracts, just the smart contracts that we have, as well as the API, are in the single repository, as well as the fact that the API is just kind of crappy. It's not well written. What I've been going back and working on, again, because this is all my API file, I've been going through and working on separating these into better components. So each one is kind of referring to only stuff that is within the scope of the file. So we'll make kind of like, as we scale it out, the logic easier to keep track of. But then other than that, that's also going to be pretty soon up and hosted at, I think we're going to do api.mebc.io, and that will be served off of Amazon's Lambda service, which is serverless computing. So we're using that because it is request based, and we don't know, like we might have 50 requests one day and 0 the next, which is where this comes in really well. As well, we've just been having issues with the availability of the API, and I think that should be a good solution. So we're gonna get to that. And then let's see. Finally, I messed around. I haven't finished it, but I have to switch mebc.io to host off of our T2 micro rather than our T3. So we'll host the website off of the T2 micro, which is the smallest instance. And then we'll actually run app.mebc.io on the T3 micro we have. And that is where people will be able to SSH in and play around on a server if they need to. And B, it'll be where we host all of the app components. So that's the last thing kind of in my stack for the developments this week. So now we can just run through. Peter took last week off, super busy, so he's gonna sit this one out. But I guess we can start with Lynn. You wanna go?
Sure. So last week was mostly like getting used to the system. So I finished the truffle exercise, I guess. And then I also finished the Netlify CMS to configure the social links. So I think, not sure where it should have a links.
Doesn't look like it rendered in this. That's hold on. Website. Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I'll show it off real quick.
Yeah. So yeah, it's mostly just finishing that one, and then I think it works now. So if you change the link and then you do git pull again, I think it should change the link on the homepage.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not gonna run through that entire process because
Yeah,
that takes a little bit. But yeah, I ran it and it didn't work.
Yep.
Yeah, there it is. All right. So yeah, and this is again implemented into this right here. So if for any reason this needed to change, which really most likely it won't ever, but again, it's a good exercise. If this ever did need to change, now we have the ability to mutate it from a GUI rather than having to write code. But yeah, awesome work, Lynn. We'll get into the next steps in a second, but Micah, do you want to go next?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So this week I was just getting stuff set up as well. So back end, front end, just getting the Git stuff going and pulling it and testing the stuff out. The Android app as well. I'm still kind of getting that set up. I was able to build it and everything. It's just I'm having some issues with the emulator because I have an AMD processor and the emulator stuff is a little funky with AMD, so I have to get that working. If that doesn't work out, I do have a physical Android phone that I could run it on,
We can
if need
set up
be,
a
but
time to try to debug that a little more. I can take a stab at it, and if I can't get it, I'm sure Peter can figure it out. But yeah, we can set that up. Yeah, what's up, Ian? But other than that, yeah, just kind of intro type stuff. Again, we'll get into what I'm thinking is gonna go down in the next week. Brendan, you wanna go next?
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I was also getting familiar with like the website development environment this week. I also I was able to get the React storage box running, except for I have some errors with like reading different like accounts, but I was able to get the main project running. And then in terms of the website portion, I wasn't really as familiar with the GraphQL or React as I thought I was. So I'm still experimenting with that. But I did figure out how to add like headers and things above the different slides. So I should be able to implement the carousel now, I'm thinking.
Yeah, just circle back in like a day or two. Again, we talked about this earlier. Just put a couple of hours into it if you can't figure it out, and we'll take it from there. And then, yeah, Ian, you did a couple of cool things this week. You want to go through it?
Yes, sorry for being late. Interview went really well.
3 minutes. So don't worry about it.
So let me think real fast. Yeah, so here, I should probably share my screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to make you host for that meeting in 30 seconds. I
shoot.
did get the pro subscription for Zoom, so we don't have to leave every 40 minutes.
Oh, that's nice.
But I do not have the ability to make like 10 different people be able to share their screen. With my
Okay, let me. All right, so yeah, let me think real fast. So I looked into the ENS, didn't get it to work, but I'm trying. Shoot.
At the beginning of the week, you did the you got the events hooked up to Netlify.
Oh shoot, was that this week? Oh, okay, yeah. Sorry, let me go back then. So, yeah, now the events are hooked up to Netlify, and when we click on them, okay, awesome, it's working now. When you click on them, you can take it to your own respective event page.
If you open it in an incognito tab and go to it, it's not going to work.
Do you want me to try and demonstrate?
I did already show it to everyone.
Okay, so yeah, we got a CSS issue that we have to look into after this, but you know, it works for the most part. Generating its own page. Go back here. What we still need to do is get the ordering to go by date. Someone else is going to work on that, I've been told. So that's one thing that still needs to be done. Did we show that this is hooked up to Netlify yet?
Yeah. So actually, Brendan is trying to switch that into the carousel I was talking about earlier.
Okay. Yeah. Let me know if you need help with that. Could probably use.
Okay.
Are you looking into what's it called, React Bootstrap, or do you have a framework in mind?
Yeah. The React. I think the carousel component.
Okay, yeah, that React Bootstrap could do that. I'm sure Material UI is another good React front end
I
framework.
like
So
the Bootstrap one the best. I mean, you could design
Okay.
one from scratch and make it perfect if you had like infinite time. But I just grabbed the component and dropped a link.
yeah, but that shouldn't be hard. Besides that, my memory is really bad right now. I think that was it. We looked into the ENS. Next,
Stuff as well.
yeah, next we'll be looking into gas station network, right?
Yeah, so I'll jump into that. So moving forward, what we want to do is we want to get this app set up so that it can work with the website. B, we want to get it all set up so that the API is working the same across all of our clients. So both mobile and web, we wanted to have a very similar experience in how it's actually, the whole CRUD, create, read, upload, and delete. We want fairly standardized practices for that. And then finally, we need to kind of reinvent the architecture that we used to actually make payments for actual Ethereum transactions. So I guess I'll start with Ian. So I have not done an issue for this one, and this is going to take a lot of research. Honestly, I don't expect it to be done in 2 weeks or 3 weeks even. It's going to be
Oh, man.
quite the undertaking. I'm definitely going to spend a lot of time on this one as well, because this is something we tried to do in Padlock, but I wasn't able to do with the band. Essentially, as I said, the API makes the contract calls currently. What we want to do is we want to set up this service that will let us sign in with OAuth, Google OAuth, and interact with Web3 providers. But then on top of that, just because we've done that doesn't mean it's usable. Most, if not all public blockchains require the token for that blockchain to be spent in order to receive compute power. So if we want to actually do a transaction, if we want to, let's say we're a user trying to purchase an item, they are going to have Rinkeby Ether if we have it deployed on the Rinkeby chain normally to do this, and that is super cumbersome. So the solution to that is called gas station network, and essentially what you do is you take a contract, you wrap it around your entire smart contract ecosystem that you're currently using, and basically fill that wrapper contract with gas, with Ether. And then you have to configure it as well so that it can accept the permissions correctly. There's also some backend stuff that has to be done as well, but I'm not I don't quite understand perfectly. I'm only like 20 hours into this, and it seems like a 100-hour task. So
Oh man.
yeah, I mean that's 40 hours, and that's to absolute completion. To be fair, like we just put it down and we're done. I think that we can have something fairly workable within like I don't know 30 hours, man hours invested total. So again, like 2 or 3 weeks. But this one's a big one, and it's also an incredibly useful one. Making usable decentralized applications is super important, and this is one of the biggest hurdles. So this is a really important problem for us to figure out how to solve.
Well, it sounds like a good learning experience, so I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome. So we can talk about that. We also have to do, so the other thing that immediately has to happen is we really need to figure out that CSS thing. I'm sending people from UI and PwC to go look at it. So it can't look like that. So
Agreed.
that's the immediate focus. But then right after that, it's pretty much onto gas station network.
We're still gonna look at it right after this, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
Okay. So that's pretty much that. I did make an issue, I think, for fixing the CSS, but it's not very detailed. It just says works locally and works in production.
Yeah, well, we just need to get it to work, so
Yeah,
might not even need an issue.
we'll go over it more, but I've spent a little bit of time. I don't quite understand it, but it seems like it's a Gatsby Netlify thing. Like
Yeah,
it's.
did you try the plugin I sent?
I've not tried that actually.
Okay, hopefully that will be it, because there were some people. It worked in a lot of cases, but in some apparently it didn't. But
Right,
we'll get to it. Yeah, we'll figure this out fast.
Man, that'd be awesome. All right. So let's go on. So Brendan, we already talked about
Yeah.
this a little bit. I actually have a good amount in this though. So UML class diagrams, as we're building out the actual smart contract and API, we want to make sure that everyone can quickly understand what is being built. Well, if we bring new people on, already we're kind of seeing some difficulties with, I wouldn't say difficulties exactly, but the way that we have to get up to speed currently is not as good as it could be. So we basically want to create resources for people to be able to understand what we're building. This is helpful again for getting new developers, as well as we go to places doing grants or for sponsoring. Being able to hand this over is super helpful. So we're going to start off with the smart contracts UML diagram, and there's 5 parts to it. Version contract, which just tracks all the different service contracts. Service contract, which is just like the master contract for each version that tracks the token, item, and bounty contract. And then you've got the token, item, and bounty contract, and we can go through more. The exact functionality as well. You have the code base and you have the API documentation I did write, so you should be able to make some good progress before looping me in. But and then the API one, I may have Hugh do. We'll have to see. But what is next? Okay. So I guess on to Lynn. So what we're looking to do next on your end is set up the authentication with the web client. So I've been working a little bit on the Taurus direct auth. Sent out the client ID for our OAuth to Taurus to get it verified. Until we do that, we can't make any progress on the Taurus side. But other than that, what I was able to find was an implementation of Taurus in Gatsby. And I plan on messing around with this as well. As soon as this client ID is ready, that's going to be part of it. The other goal is to just generally build the architecture for us to wrap a hook, an API hook in authentication. So I sent you over kind of a script version of what we did this summer to kind of show the semi-architecture. Again, that a lot of the functional parts are still there, but the main kind of business logic is stripped out. From here, pretty much we want to go about constructing the login process. So to start, I would say you should go through and basically set it up as if it's just OAuth. So you can actually take this client ID and configure it. I guess you would need the web key as well, the API key. So I can get that for you as well right after. But essentially what you want to do is just make another page or even like something in the bar that demonstrates whether or not it's logged in. And that's obviously not what it's going to look like at the end of the day. But to start off, to actually get the context and hook in there so that we can render it throughout the app, we can just plop the actual visual confirmation that it works right on this bar. But from there, the next step would be actually having it redirect and land on app.mevc.io, which I would have to spin up. But that would probably be a few days after this. So again, what I will do to specifically make this one easier is I'll write an issue that breaks it down, because this one has a lot of different parts to it. As well, it's got the backend parts. There's stuff that we'll probably touch here. But like I'm thinking, actually, this kind of gets to Micah as well. Both of you will probably have the opportunity to work a little bit with this. But we are going to set up the front end and back end to communicate with each other and establish basically a session. So on top of that, we want to verify the authenticity of HTTP requests with Web3 signatures. That sounds like a bunch of jargon, but pretty much what we're doing is we're just taking the API URL we're accessing, signing that with the Web3 private key, and then verifying that it came from that public key on the back end. And that is all actually, we don't really have to write that much of that. That's all already provided. Micah, you don't have that, but Lynn, you do. That architecture is already written, so we can use that. But that's kind of the end goal of all of this. Once we've got that all established, we can be super confident that the connections that are happening to our server and the blockchain are verifiably authentic and not malicious. So yeah, I guess so Brennan, your moving forward is pretty clear. You're gonna work on those smart contracts as soon as you manage the Netlify thing.
Okay.
Or those smart contracts UML diagrams. And then Micah, before you proceed, you definitely still need to get the app built, because you're going to be doing all of this on the mobile side, I think, right now. But let me know. Do you want to set up a time to meet in the next day or two to just knock that out?
I could probably meet tomorrow after like 6 or 7 p.m. if that works.
Okay. Do you want to do 7 p.m.?
Yeah, that's good.
All right. All right. Yeah. We can just do talkie for that. And then Lynn, again, I'll write the issue, but essentially what you're going to try to do is you're going to try to make a React hook that will serve as a wrapper for the authentication. I guess, again, the first thing you need to do is just set up the login for an OAuth thing, because I don't think you've never done OAuth, right, Lynn?
No, I have never done OAuth before. So the hook is mainly to wrap around the OAuth code that we'll make?
Yeah, so I was playing around with it. There is a pre-built library. You probably shouldn't use the library, but you can pretty much cannibalize the code base. I'll find that, and it shows kind of exactly what I'm thinking. But yeah, the hook is just to, I guess actually, now that I'm looking through it, it's context that's done with the API. So again, I might be misusing the words. If you look at the code base I sent, all of that stuff is done in the context. So it's use context, not use hook. But that context is integral for the hook function.
Okay.
So yeah, again, I'll find that, throw that together. I'm meeting with Ian right after this, but after that, I'll be able to throw that together. But then from there, once you've got OAuth working, I hopefully should have Taurus working as well, so we can start to work on that. And if I don't have Taurus, then we can work on actually redirecting and landing on an app page.
Okay, gotcha.
Cool. All right. So I guess, Peter, we can talk a little more about what you're thinking for the next week. But where are we right now with the API? Like, is it functional on Android?
Yeah, everything's good. I'm just trying to get it uploaded to the Google Play Store, and of course, there's more issues arising. So, I'll see. Updating, it's all messed up now. I don't know. The keys are all messed up again. For something, I might have to delete it and re-upload the project, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. But everything's working though, in the release mode and stuff. So
We should.
I think you
sorry,
go.
go on.
I think I might need to like just upload everything to GitHub. I don't know how updated it is, so I'll push everything today just to make sure.
Yeah. Do you want to, since we've been doing it everywhere else, do you want to just do it as a pull request? I am about to, I did pull the trigger on Zoom. I did not pull the trigger on GitHub because I'm still not sure, like, if I can configure it without paying, but I would like to set up versioning now that, as well, we've got everyone present.
Yeah, sure.
But, and then I'm also going to add you and Ian and myself as our code owners. So in order to push changes to all the master repos, one of us is going to have to approve it.
Okay.
I think I had that sort of set up on the web side this side. I don't know if did it push code owners? No, I guess not. All right, so then I have to repush that. But yeah, that's how that works. All right. So then moving forward, yeah, we just need to get that on. And then as soon as you've got Android, we may as well just start working on iOS. I'm gonna cancel because we talked about this a little while ago. I'm gonna cancel one under MEVC and put it under mine just so that we can get it deployed. We can probably take it from there. That should take 2 days. All right. So yeah, pretty much we will probably meet Saturday or Sunday to close out the sprint and open the next one. These can, like, sprint plannings and retrospectives can be upwards of like 5 hours in a professional setting. We're obviously not going to do that, so it's going to be a little bit of a bridge version. If there's more stuff that you guys want to bring up, we can do it outside of that meeting. But it'll probably be an hour retrospective, an hour planning. But I will, I'll put together a when to meet for that, send that out as well so that we can find the optimal time. Is there anything else people wanted to go over? All right, cool. That's pretty much it. So thanks for coming, everyone.
All right. Thanks, Jack.
All right. I'll see you. Or do you want to talk about anything after?
So what we were talking about the CSS, or not, no, that was Ian. We were talking about the client ID. Okay, so yeah, real quick. Let's just get on the same page about how that works. Let me share my screen. Again, I'm not fully understanding how this works, but I'm getting there. And Lynn and Micah, if you guys are still there, this is actually pretty applicable as well. So what I had to do again is I sent this to tor.us. And if we go here, because we're using Gatsby, it's actually really convenient. But they're using service workers, and I don't get service workers. I would like to figure out a way to do it without service workers. But anyways, and really quick, this is actually what it looks like at core.us. So it gives us the exact same portal.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just gonna log in. Obviously, this is not important, but that's it working. But then am I looking for? Okay, so it was just on this page. Oh, yeah, it is. So somewhere here it asks for the client ID. Again, I'm not finding it, but essentially to link it in, I guess you're using like Taurus's client ID as well, but you need to confirm the Google OAuth app with them. And then,
With the client ID.
yeah, and then you can pass it in.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's web. Google sign-in uses the web ID also for mobile. It's very strange. They use it's just interesting. It's really because I think the web's the right one now. The one that you use, that 60JS one or whatever.
Mhm.
Or something like that.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, I think that will be fine. Because that's what the server uses also. And it's what I'm using for the React Native. But the Android ones are just created for each version. It's like why it's so annoying. Because they have all these key signings.
That was the other thing I was going to bring up. So actually, if I go to I haven't pushed it yet, but so eventually, what I would like to do for the backend is I would like to set up a GitHub action that on Chrome or on, like, you can also just run it as an npm command. You will basically query the contracts, which it doesn't even exist yet. Again, I'm switching incentive contracts to API contracts. So once it exists, it will literally just go pull it out of the Git repo and then build it and then take that JSON and put it in the right folder and then clean up the workspace. That all can be done with Bash and stuff like that. Can we automate the process of key storing? Like, is there an API?
I think technically yes. I don't know how to exactly yet. I need to look into that
Yeah, if it's
because I need to get a solid understanding of how to actually get this working currently, because it clearly doesn't work whenever I want it to. So, because it's like, yeah, each Android version has their own like SHA key that it needs, that I need to register on Firebase for the Google sign-in to work. And then so that's why there's like 3 in there, because there's one for debug and then there's one for my release testing. And then it just gets even more annoying when you go to upload it, because then Google provides a certificate that you have to download, and then you have to sign your key store. So when you upload it, it changes it to this like it's just so annoying. But it, like right now, apparently the key store that I'm using is different than the one we first uploaded, which I don't know really why. But it is. So they're giving me trouble re-uploading, trying to update the app on the store. So
Well, yeah, I mean, we don't have to cross that bridge right now.
yeah.
And obviously, if it's like a huge task, we don't need to do it. But I don't know. It seems like it could be automated away.
Yeah, no, it definitely can be. Because I don't know, at my work this past summer, everything was automated. There's just like the automated like nightly builds and stuff like that. So it definitely can be done, but
Cross
let me
that bridge.
see. I don't even know if they were using a custom thing. Maybe I can find it. It was called Butler. I don't think it was like internal. I think it was like based off of something. I mean, yeah, but whatever.
Yeah, again, we can. I don't want to stress over it. It's just like it's probably the same thing where like every single time I deploy to a network, I have to I have to hand drag in the new JSON files in each repository. It's just really tedious and it's not going to scale. So figure this should solve that issue. It's a pretty big one. So this is one that I would like to get to soon, given that we have a good amount of people working on back end as well. But yeah, this is probably gonna be like something that Hugh does. So, all right, I am going to jump into the thing with Ian now because I really want to get that fixed.
Okay.
So,
All right. I'll try and get the app uploaded by the end of this sprint, and we'll see. Hopefully, there's no issue. Hopefully, I can figure it all out.
I'll make sure to have Apple fixed up or iOS, at least the developer account, by the end of the sprint as well.
Okay. Yeah, we're probably gonna run into more issues with that. I'm not gonna lie, but at least just trying to build the app because I haven't tested it from the beginning.
My bad. All right.
You want to hop over to Taki, or do you want to continue on here?
Let's just continue here, honestly. Or do you
Okay.
want to share your screen? I mean, I can still give it. I can give you co-host permission here. I think you already have it actually. So you should be fine. Yeah, let's just. This is recording, so it doesn't matter. So the one thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw my Slack message, but I made it to the next round.
Yeah, I did. Congrats, dude.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, this actually. Oh, what's up?
Which company again?
Stride.
Right.
I'm still waiting to hear back from JP Morgan, but I think that's definitely, I mean, I thought my second interview went well with them, so I think it's just a matter of them not getting back to me yet. But this is cool because it's not going to be like a leak code question interview. They're actually going to have me do a Zoom call, and they're going to have me develop something, write some code in React, and see my process behind it. So this will be a lot easier than problem solving, I think.
That does sound fun.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
Give me a sec here.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, I think I remember the command. Because I don't want to deploy it to master, or I don't want to deploy it live. I don't want to really break the server. I want to see if I can get this working. So,
It's really frustrating. I mean, it makes sense why it just came up to us, but it's frustrating you can't reproduce this on the dev server.
it's very frustrating. Okay. There we go. Wait, shouldn't it already? All right. I am. Oh. Hmm. It's not auto configuring because it's Arch. I don't want to set this all up myself. All right. I'm gonna crack. Um. All right. So the fix. What's the package?
Okay, sorry, I put headphones in. Let me scroll up. Gatsby plugin styled components. I'll just send it in Slack again.
Oh, is it in Slack?
Yeah.
Oh. So is this it? I literally just drop it in.
Yeah, I think for this solution, yeah. So it's saying it's I think the issue is CSS used inside React and Gatsby because React isn't HTML, it's JSX, and somehow that's what causes it.
That's stupid.
You said it's stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. But I guess it's a price you have to pay for faster load time in Gatsby. You're using V.
Yeah. BI. Yeah.
Oh yeah, good for you getting better at it. I actually want to try soon.
I don't.
See, if it were me, I would have been stuck there. I would have been fucked.
All right, you know what? I'm this close to. Speed. Plug in. Style. Comments. Okay. It had dot. Yes. Push. Push.
Yeah, so I looked up what you looked up, and that the actual Gatsby owner, that guy, I forget his name, but he provided what we're using right now as a suggestion, and it worked for a lot of people.
Okay. Again, I'm just looking at this because I'm killing time, but
Yeah,
fuck.
just to give you an idea where I found it. Fuck. Fuck. God damn it.
What up?
I dropped something. It's not
Or not
an
like
issue with the code. Really hoping this works, so.
please work. That looks good.
Cool.
All right, this should probably look well. Also, one other thing that would be really, 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 really good if I could get in. And this actually goes into some other Gatsby stuff I've been wondering about.
Okay.
Please show me what it looks like. Did I take it off? Shit, I took it off. All right, the point is, it's HTML. Have you seen that dangerously render HTML thing?
Yeah, I have.
Here, you know what? Just while we wait for this, bear with me,
No problem.
because it might be as easy as literally just dropping this code into the body. People have registered? I haven't even told people to go to this. All right, well, the main reason I'm using this is as a data collection scheme, because we do not have an analytics console, and we're not getting an analytics console. There's absolutely no possible fucking way to allocate resources to that, and that would be a complete pivot anyway. It's just not something that's in the cards, right?
So Gatsby provides something you can do that with?
Nope. Instead, we're just going to use this, and let me hold on. We're just going to route everyone through a registration that grabs their email. Always invite and promote. Here. All right, here it is. This. So, essentially what I'm looking to do is, and I'm going to take a stab at this myself after, unless you're really dying to do something right now, I can do it. That's assuming that we get the CSS handled. But actually, that's probably done. Wait, what?
I can try and give it a. Oh fuck. Fuck.
I was having this issue earlier.
Yeah, I can't even pretend like I know what's going on.
Yes, actually. Hold on. Yes. Shit, I need to change. Yeah, see, I've already looked through this. I think the solution is use a different node version.
So this is just starting the Apache server.
Yes, that is what it's doing. No, that's not the issue. Like, that's the GitHub action. It's a custom script for it to actually do that, though. Someone just tell me that I have to set it to. Wait, what? There's no way that works. All right. What about? Are we stuck on Sharp? Sharp isn't even in there. I mean, like, what the fuck could it be? Hmm. Shit, the wrong thing. Do you want me to hit you up after I fix this? I don't want to waste your time. Or do you want?
Yeah, I'll be around because I want to make sure. I want you to be able it to go seamlessly when we show the people. So
Yeah. If you want something to do right now, like I can handle it, absolutely. But if you want something to do right now, you can try to render that HTML in the event page.
can you send me a link to that?
Here's the code.
Okay. And just so I get this right, it's what you showed me before. It's gonna be that little component where people can say they're attending an event or not, and you'll get the analytic data, right?
Yeah, pretty much all it's gonna
Okay.
render is a button. And that button pops open a modal, and the modal handles everything.
Okay. Where do you want me to place this?
So again, we have to think about how this works. So we want it like at the bottom right here, right?
Okay.
Honestly, links actually, we might be able to exploit that. But what I was thinking was instead of using that, we use Markdown as intended and do. Christ, that's disgusting. We do this. Put it right there.
Okay.
I think that's
Okay, and try. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Okay, and then try and generate the inner HTML.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can give that a shot.
If that doesn't work, the fallback would be to just make an Eventbrite button that you toggle based off of a true or false on Netlify. And that would
Yeah.
be and that
Yeah. Go ahead.
you'd have to open the modal that could just link straight to it. So that could be similar
Okay.
thing. I just think honestly, yeah, you could probably actually, again, worst case scenario, change the link to like participate here or something like that as a button. But we'll cross that bridge in like a couple hours. I don't know. When do you want to touch base on this? Assuming I don't hit you up in like the next hour on the CSS thing.
I gotta rethink my process for prepping because I think to prepare for this coming up. I think I'm gonna watch some videos on cloning. I'm like clones, like Facebook clones, to get better at React. But
Oh yeah, you
I
should get, just doing a MERN stack app.
yeah, you know the YouTube channel Clever Programmer.
I think I've heard of it.
They actually do some really good cloning tutorials and a lot with the MERN stack. So I think basically what I have to do is I'm gonna have to design something and connect to an API and render data onto a screen. So it's stuff I've done before. It's well within my expertise. I just need to there's a few points I need to touch up on, like making cleaner CSS and more easily responsive websites. But I think I'm pretty much there. It's going to be a lot easier than a LeetCode thing, solving problems. But no, to answer your question, I'll try this now, but later on I'm going to do that. So I'll try and get this to work in the next hour here.
Cool. All right, I'll hit you up as soon as I make progress.
All right, yeah, and I'll be around at any point tonight to help you with that.
Sounds good.
All right, talk to you later, man. See ya.